So you want to know why I have so many tools in my bug out bag. Hey, welcome to Two Camping Gurus. If you like camping in the great outdoors, you are in the right place. Alright, so I post my YouTube videos, the link to them, on several other platforms. I've had a lot of questions about all the tools I carry, and some people say there's too many knives, too many of this, not enough of that. Well, there's a couple reasons why I have what I have in my bug out bag, and of course, they're always getting better, you're always modifying it, you're always working on this to make it the best for your particular situation. But for me, the main reason is it's a bug out bag, and it is designed if you were to take off in the woods. You know, technically I could live hopefully forever by living off the land and all that type of stuff. However, I don't truly ever think I'm going to end up in that type of situation. So that's not really its true intent. We go camping a lot in an RV, tents and stuff like that, and this bag is always with me, and it has a lot of the tools that we use on a regular basis just doing everyday camping. For instance, the machete itself. The reason why I have the machete, are a couple reasons. One is lots of times people leave leftover wood in the fire pits that they're burning at the campground because they're too big and they don't burn down. Well, I don't want to carry a great big axe, and a little machete is not going to do the trick to split that down again. A little hatchet. So I have this machete with the long blade. I can put it on top of those logs, use another small log, and pound it down and split that again. And I've done that several times with people who have left wood behind, after they've camped there and gone away. So, you can use it to jam into a log and then use another log to pull up against it to get shavings to start a campfire. Anyway, so the tools that are in my bag, we use on a regular basis. I have the Leatherman in there. Someone commented on the Leatherman, and it has a knife, and I have a couple of the knives in there as well. Well, that's a pair of pliers. I don't want to carry a complete toolkit, and yes, there are other tools we keep in a camper or in the vehicle when we go camping, but I can grab that Leatherman if I'm fishing to get the hook out of a fish's mouth, things like that. If we're trying to tighten up a screw, it's got the little screwdriver. So these are things that we use every day when we're camping. So it's not necessarily, okay, I got a ton of tools in here I'm never going to use because I'm never going to be in a situation where we're in the woods where we have to live. Probably that's true. However, I use these all the time when we're camping, so that's why they're in there. Now, there are some things in there that I don't use, of course. I just have them in there because if, God forbid, you ever had to take off somewhere, I'd want this bag with me, So that's a couple of the reasons why. Now, another thing is I have that saw. Well, if I'm, picking up branches off the ground, because lots of times in campgrounds or in state parks, you can burn stuff that's on the ground. You cannot cut down trees, but you can burn, limbs that have fallen down. Just check each campground or, state park you go in to make sure it's true in that particular case. But if it's a long piece, I can use that little saw. I can cut those things up and put it in my fire. So we use that on a regular basis. But again, that tool would be handy out in the wild as well if you had no tent or anything and you wanted to build shelter. But I use it at a campground. I've used it several times for that, for cutting up, logs that are like, this big around or something. Not great big stuff. Just to add some more wood to the fire and not have to go buy it if we don't have to for when we're camping. So that's another thing, that we use on a fairly regular basis. So another question is, people talk about having food in their bug out bag. So that makes sense for lots of different situations, like 72-hour bug out bag. Let's say you're in your home and you have a power outage and you can't get water or not enough food. Now, first of all, I truly believe that you should have enough food in your closet to get through a couple days without power. I always get a kick out of these videos when there's a big snowstorm coming and people post videos of people pile in the store getting groceries. It's not like it used to be years ago. I would think you would have enough food in your house, you're going to go a few days. However, there are situations where maybe you can't stay in your home because of frozen pipes and leaking or whatever it might be. So a 72-hour bag or a 24-hour bag with food and water makes absolute sense. That you can grab that and you're going to have food for a day or two until you get situated. Maybe you have to stay at a friend's house or something while things get taken care of. For me, in this particular case, it does not make sense because, again, we primarily use this bag when we're out doing our regular camping anyways, and to have food in it we don't, we wouldn't be eating that food because we have food in our camper or in our cooler or whatever. So I would have to be constantly, not constantly because you'd put food in there that has a long shelf life, but that would be something you have to consider. It's going to be in my way for what I'm using the bag for, and it would, potentially it's going to go bad eventually, and you'd be changing it out more often. And really it's just going to be in my way because it's not what I'm using the bag for. There's, you have other bags for that. It depends on what you want to do. There is no right or wrong answer. It's what works for you. What are you trying to do? What do you want to get out of your bag? And, these are just some of the reasons that I carry more tools, because we use them. That's what we do. It works for us. I don't want to have all kinds of food in there, dehydrated food, because quite frankly, that's great for certain situations, but I'd rather have a nice breakfast cooked on the grill with eggs and, and things like that. So that's just, another reason why we don't have as much food, or really any food in there, other than I think a couple cocoa packs. I have someone commented on all of the Mylar or like the heat blankets. First of all, if you buy those in bulk, they're a lot cheaper. I'll put a link in the description for those. As well as, maybe a couple other things. I put a link in the description that I'm talking about. But I have used those to lay underneath a tent. Now, we've gone tent camping several times, and it's been in an area that's been grassy, and the grass was damp. So if you lay those down, they make a great vapor barrier. So I have used a couple of those, and if I didn't have them with me, like I said, I think this was like 6 or 7 in the bag. I think originally I had 8 or 9. And I've bought a few more to replace because I've ripped a few over the years using them. But we've used those, and by having a couple of those or several of them, I can toss them underneath the tent. It keeps the bottom of the tent nice and dry. You don't get that moisture up in the tent. It's warmer. So again, these are things that we use on a regular basis. This is not a bag that sits in the corner waiting for the end all of catastrophes to happen that I'm going to gather up my family, and head and run out in the woods. Can I use it for that? I certainly could. It's got all the stuff. That's not really what its true intention is for. But it can second as that if ever necessary, which I truly don't think we'll ever have to do. Hopefully. We never get into that situation. So, because we use it on a regular basis when we go out camping, I want stuff in it that I'm going to use. And that's why I have what's in it. May or may not be right for you, but either way, I'm glad you stuck around this long. I'll put a couple links in the description about a few of the things we talked about and related items that might work for you if you're interested in that. But if you go camping in a camper or a tent, and you have your vehicle that you're heading out with, I want to make sure you're ready. So what I want you to do is take a minute, click on the link in the description. It's pretripchecklist.gr8.com. That's going to take you over to where you can get a free ebook about being prepared to hit the road, and also a checklist to make sure your car or your travel trailer is ready to hit the road. So when you're out there, you can have the best time possible and have a nice, safe, fun trip. When you're out there, you want to make you're always going to forget stuff, but at least it's going to give you some starting points to make sure you are prepared. So anyways, please take a minute to share this video, get the information out there, comment on it, like it, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you can make sure you get notified every time I post a new video. Currently, we are posting a video every single day, and we appreciate everybody that's been here so far. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and as always, happy camping.